Okay. By the way, I'm gonna start summarizing the suggestions in some cases because people just kind of say giant bloated paragraphs that just say the same thing. So, for example, add chapters to the pre-stream podcast. If I want to see you talk about something, I don't want to skim through it back and forth till I find it. We try that. For example, we try to use the AI timestamps, and then they get put into the comments, and then sometimes my editors go back and put those into the actual description of the video. So that's something that I think has been implemented. You could correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that's already been implemented. So thank you for that suggestion. Remove bloat from the podcast. Shorten recap segments. Shorten day off segments. Shorten talking about your schedule. So just shorten everything. Make it not a podcast is what you're saying. The whole point of a podcast is to have topics to talk about. You don't like the topics, just shorten all of them. Okay. Let's see here. Someone else mentioned this. Take more advantage of your mini PC. There are lots and lots of free or cheap indie games that would be fun to jump around in every once in a while. This one I 100% agree with. I have that mini PC. It's literally sitting there collecting dust. Hell, since I played Chrono Trigger in the fall, and then we played that horror game, Phantasmophobia or whatever, at Christmas, and then I haven't used it. Why? RPG overload. Like, that's why. And I agree with this person 100%. That is a squandered resource. There's a lot of stuff on PC that I know we could be playing, whether it's Fightcade, whether it's indie games, whatever it is. I know we could have more variety with that. The problem is I'm so busy with the fucking games that are too long, I can't use it. My strategy is I want to implement that this year. You know, once we get to a point where we're like, oh, what should a night stream be? Fuck it, turn on the mini PC. Let's see what indie games are on there. Let's play some old school fighting games with Fightcade. That's the point. I want that to happen, but we haven't even gotten close yet because I'm too inundated with too many fucking long games. So I promise you, we will do that this year when it gets to the point we can do it. I just need the time. The problem right now, for me, is I'm in demand doing a million things, and there's not enough time to do them all. Thank you for the suggestions. Okay. Let's see here. Here we go again. Cut your podcast to only 30 minutes. So the podcast will literally be what then? Just a news segment and that's it? Again, I keep telling you guys the point of the podcast is to get all of these topics out of the way so when we play the games, we can focus on them. Imagine if I go to boot up a game and literally the first 45 minutes is everyone bombarding me with questions. Are you going to do this? What do you think about this news story that just happened? What about this here? You know, what's going on here? Then I can't play the game. The whole point of the podcast is to get that out of the way. Cutting the podcast down to 30 minutes makes no sense. All evidence leans towards the podcast is doing better than the gameplay. Why would I cut down the podcast? Stop suggesting the same thing over and over when it makes no logical sense. Then maybe I'll take your suggestions a little bit more seriously, right? Okay. Here's a great one. My genuine advice is to consider an exit strategy. Okay, here's my exit strategy, okay? I'm going to click on your name, and I'm going to hide this user from my channel. There's my exit strategy. I exited from having to read your stupid comments. Okay, let's continue. I exited very fast. I didn't waste any time on that one. Okay, let's continue. I just got to find where we were. See, now this one, I don't know if this is true or not. I would like your guys' opinion on this. You ready? Your capture card has audible white noise on constantly. When you mute your mic, but the capture card is active on a silent screen, like the slideshow without music playing, there's a lot of noise that is obvious when you wear headphones. You should be able to see this in OBS Audio Meter. All right, you ready? So what I'm seeing, because the white noise, by the way, is not coming from the microphone. I'm seeing that there is some kind of a noise coming out of the capture device. I'm going to be completely silent. I'm going to open the chat because I want to see what you guys have to say about this. All right. So I'm going to be completely silent right now. And I'm going to be silent for like 20 seconds. And I want you guys to tell me what you hear. Okay, ready? We're going to start in 3, 2, 1. Okay. Did you guys hear anything? Nada. I heard nothing. I don't hear anything. I hear nothing. There is a bit of white noise, a very slight white noise, subtle, but it's there. Okay. So I guess my question would be, if there is a very small white noise, how can we stop it? I could put an audio filter on the capture device, just like I put audio filters on this microphone. But I'm not exactly sure that would, I don't know if it would fix it. I don't know how. Here's the problem. If I put audio filters on the game audio, there's potential that now some game audio will be dropped. And obviously that's the opposite of what we want. You don't want to have game audio dropped. Is there a solution around that little white noise? Dentronic says hardly noticeable, if at all. Some people just say they can't hear it at all. If it's audible, I don't hear it. I have Dolby Atmos headphones too, says Cheetah Man. You know, maybe it was the mic. Because remember, these are suggestions for like a month ago. Maybe it was the mic, and maybe now putting the filters on the mic has fixed the problem. So most people are saying, don't bother. I wouldn't worry about it. Okay, fair enough. Thank you. That was from a Jessica. Thank you for suggesting that. I mean, again, I don't know until we test stuff. And I don't know what else we could do to fix that. My issue with your podcast is recapping the previous day and talking about the schedule. Already explained till I was blue in the face why that's necessary. It's not changing. Okay. Let's see. Okay. I want to address the back and forth pull from viewers over whether you should do more gaming content versus more interactive non-gaming content. It seems there's no consensus can be reached. Everyone has their own preference. While it's true, most wanting more gameplay might outnumber those asking for other types of content, I would like to point out the value in catering to the dedicated group of fans that follow your more personalized and interactive content. It's my interpretation that due to your long 15-year legacy of mostly being a gamer, you have a larger contingent of people who want to see gaming. However, excuse me, due to the diverse amount of games out there, there isn't really one type of game that will satisfy all gamers across the board. When discussing non-gaming topics such as reactions, gaming news, Q&A, storytime narrative, etc., these may have less demand from your full-time audience, but typically the ones who show up tend to stay engaged and focused during those kinds of events. These interactions offer something unique which cannot be replicated through typical gaming videos. The reason why I think there is more demand for gaming content when you request feedback is because there are many voices that share a desire for more gaming, but they don't all participate equally when it comes to the gaming streams. This skews the data towards gaming demand. Due to the diverse amount of games out there and your audience's preference for various games, there is no one game that you can play that will unify all the more gaming crowd and bring them all in at once. Let's work with easy numbers and say you have 100 people. Say 60% of your audience wants more games. Of those 60 people that want the games, 30 of them actually want a fighting game. 20 of them want a shooter. 10 of them want an RPG. As you can see here, already there's division within the gaming side alone. On the flip side, let's look at non-gaming content where only 40 people wanted that non-gaming content. And of those 40 people that showed interest, almost all of them are willing to engage and interact with whatever you're producing. It's probably a very good point. In summary, while both sides have valid arguments, it's apparent that a unifying element exists among those who favor non-gaming content. By nurturing engagement in this area, you can potentially foster stronger connections with your community overall. My humble recommendation would be to continue what you've been working toward with the variety of content you currently provide, but perhaps leaning in the non-gaming area slightly more, ensuring consistency and quality, and building up your audience for non-gaming interactive content. This strategy allows room for growth of loyal followers that enjoy the interactive content that you want to eventually make more of anyway. Thus, it behooves you in the community that builds up your content towards what you want it to be, and not just what the current target loudest group happens to ask for. Thanks for taking the time to read this. All right. What do you guys think? I'm just curious. I'm going to click over to the chat. What do you guys think about that? You guys think that working towards and nurturing more non-gaming content makes sense? I think I understand the point. What they're, in a nutshell, yes, a lot of people want me to play games. The problem is there's never a consensus on what game. So when I play a game, I'm isolating the audience that didn't want that game. It's different if there's, like, for example, if GTA 6 was coming out tomorrow, 98% of my audience would want me to play GTA 6, right? When the Elden Ring DLC comes out, a ridiculous amount of my audience is going to want to see me play the Elden Ring DLC. Those are the big ones we can all agree on. But when we're not actually focusing in on those big games, basically the attention is so pulled in different directions that I can't please everyone. Even though the majority of people say gaming, when I play a game, it doesn't satisfy the majority of people because everyone wants a different game. As opposed to when people say, you know, I'm not so much into the gaming anymore, but I like just hanging out with you. So no matter what kind of chill game content I make, whether it's podcasting, whether it's a chill night stream, whether it's us reacting to my old gameplay like Heavy Rain, those more personalized interactive streams are more appealing, and they appeal to a wider group of people because they're not, oh, I only want to see you interact with us in this one way. Most people are just happy to just interact, right? So I got you. I totally get what this person's saying. And like I said, I feel that the future is to diversify and split more down the middle. Like right now, I'm like 80% gaming, 20% other content. Because if you think about it, podcasting, the React Show, and the Throwback channel are all different from just the pure gaming. But for the most part, right, at least almost 5 hours a day, I'm playing games. So it's probably an 80-20 split right now. I think the goal would eventually to be trying to go 50-50. Still play a good amount of games, play the biggest high-profile games everyone really wants me to play, but then take my time and split it into other stuff. And it's going to mean playing way less games over time, but I think that's the way to go, honestly. You know, I'm being honest here. I don't think that me being a full-time gamer for the rest of my life is going to work. I'm about to be 42 years old. How many people want to see a 40, 50, 60-year-old fucking playing video games, right? I'm just saying. I mean, I think that's the case. Well, but again, this is something to explore as we move down the line. I think what we're doing now is kind of working, you know? Okay. Instead of recapping the previous day on the podcast, do a recap segment on the podcast each week and recap things in detail there. That will never work because too much happens in a given week. Just think about this. In one given week, there could be new games. There could be continuing games. There could be things that have to change in the schedule because a game doesn't work, right? There could be things on the fly that happen that we have to adjust. By the way, by talking about this stuff every day, it gives me the feedback I need to figure out what to do in the future. So here's a perfect example. We just started discussion about my birthday marathon. Within a couple days of me bringing this up, all right, now we know, oh, let's do a tier maker. But what should the tier maker be? Well, maybe it'll be Mario. Maybe it'll be something else. We'll continue to talk about this daily, and within a week, we'll figure it out. If I literally waited until Sunday to bring it up, and I only bring these things up once a week, that's not enough time. You see? I understand if you get bored of something being mentioned every day. I get it. But at the same time, you have to understand that it serves a purpose, right? The thing is, people just want instant gratification and don't want to have any kind of reasoning or rationale as to why something shouldn't be changed. For example, people say that I approach the suggestion box as a debunked box. No, it's not. I've actually adopted a lot of things from the suggestion box so far as direct things in my content, putting filters on the mic, having the pause button be implemented in my content. Some of the ideas we've come up for events and things based off of the suggestion box, correct? The thing is, I can't implement all of it. So the moment that I say, oh, this doesn't work or whatever, oh, you see, Phil's debunking and he's just yelling it. No. Again, why is everything in life black and white? Right? So you suggest completely get rid of the recaps, do them once a week. And I say, that ain't going to work. Only recapping once a week isn't enough because it doesn't give you enough of a perspective on things going on each day to get the feedback I need to make the correct decisions. Oh, you see, Phil debunked it. Well, no, I didn't debunk it. I just said this is why I'm not going to do it. And I respectfully decline that suggestion. But you don't have to put drama into it because you act like a 5-year-old. Okay? All right, we'll do one more. And then we're going to get to shout-outs. This suggestion that I gave in May of 2013 is more relevant than ever. Okay? You remember back when your capture card gave out in late 22 and early 2023 and you had those hangout streams until the new one arrived. They were enjoyable, chill, and surprisingly successful. You even mentioned wanting to do more hangout streams in the future. This would be just like that. Yes, if you remember, my capture card broke, so we basically did streams where I went into the hard drives in my closet to see what videos were on the hard drives, and that's eventually what led to DSP Throwback, because we found all the raw gameplay footage from back in the day. And we had a couple other streams where we just hung out and shot the shit because I couldn't do anything else. Picture this, late night streams with a relaxed, casual vibe. During the stream, members suggest topics, news stories, short video clips in a members-only thread while the show's live. You keep an eye on this thread throughout the night. If something catches your interest, like a gaming news story, a funny article, or a viral video clip, you record a quick 5 to 10 minute video sharing your thoughts, incorporating live chat into the conversation. Excuse me. Whew. This way, you'd have a series of concise, single-topic videos to upload to DSP React, catering to viewers who prefer shorter, more digestible clips. Over the course of a 2-hour late-night stream, you might end up with 5 or more of these videos, which you can then upload throughout the week or even weeks. I've seen other streamers do something similar, booting up a stream and hanging out with their viewers with no fixed plan. Someone brings a topic in chat, the streamer shares their opinion or watches a relevant clip, which later ends up on their clip's channel. This could be your version of that. One common complaint nowadays with members is how competitive submissions are for DSP versus the internet. The new show would level the playing field. It's entirely up to you and your interest in their topic, story, clip, whether or not you cover it. Plus, for members who only catch night streams, it gives them something to look forward to on DSP React. Personally, I can count on one hand how many DSP versus the internet streams I've managed to attend live. The show doesn't need a formal name. You can simply call it a hangout stream. Hey guys, tonight I'm doing a hangout stream on DSP Reacts. Instantly, people would know it's a laid-back, informal affair. Well, I like the idea, but we would definitely have to refine it from this original idea. So allow me to explain. I know exactly what you're talking about. All right? This is the kind of shit that Moist Critical does. This is the kind of shit that Asmongold does. All right? It works for them. But there's a reason it works for them. It's not because they have a members-only thread that people post into. It's because they have a team of editors and screeners. Okay? They actually have people who take in all of these suggestions, scrub the suggestions, formulate them into a post or thread of what they feel are the best suggestions, the kind of stuff that that content creator likes, and then that content creator goes through it live on the stream. Okay? That's why it works. In regards to me, okay, I don't have that. All right? Now, I know what you're saying. You're saying do a members-only thread. The whole idea of members only doesn't work. Why? Because people have found a way to abuse memberships on YouTube. They can literally spend less than a penny and get a membership. So membership only doesn't work. It's the same as just having open thread. It really is at this point. Okay, I just want to make that clear. There's nothing that can really be done about that. Anyone can pay a penny to get a fucking membership now and just spam a thread with a bunch of just duty. Okay? I like the idea, but primarily the people who do this are people who have Discord presence, right? Sign up for my Discord, go into the submissions area, post up clips you think that the content creator should watch this week. Our editors will scrub that and put that into a thread that the person can now watch on a hangout night. I have none of that. Okay? I wish it did. I wish that that's the way that my community went. I tried that in the past. You know, I had my own forums. I had things like that going on. It did work out. Over the years, when I became a running meme of toxicity and negativity, meaning everyone just wanted to crap on me, basically so many people now hate me that whenever I would attempt to do something like this, it gets ruined, right? Like, barely can I even maintain the DSP Reacts channel because DSP versus the internet almost failed because of this membership debacle. Luckily, I figured out how to fix it. And it's been fine since, you know, it's a little bit more work for me now to scrub stuff. But for the most part, it's still working. Okay? But I like the idea. I do. I think that this leads to a whole idea of a new late night chill stream. We're all hanging out. We're just having a good time. You guys suggest stuff. I go through a thread of stuff like that. And you say, okay, here's these suggestions. And we, you know, skim through them or whatever. And see if it's something that's interesting for me to watch fully or whatever. You know. I like the idea, but it only works as a team effort. Those shows that you watch people do, those could never work with one person. You know, they're only possible because these are huge content creators who have teams of people working for them. I don't have that, you know. Listen to me. I'm lucky enough to have the moderators that I have show up when they do. They're volunteers. You understand? I don't pay them because I can't afford to pay them. The editors that I have are overworked making the content for the DSP Throwback channel as well as thumbnails for all my videos. They don't have extra time on top of that. Like, this other suggestion was also made a week or two ago. Why don't you have people cut news stories out of your streams and make them separate videos? Because that's like a full-time job. You know, again, all these suggestions are absolutely fabulous. If I were a big YouTuber who had a lot of money to hire employees to do this for me, I would love to do it. Like, I like this idea. I would be thrilled to do this show. But with the resources I have, I can't do it, you know? It would have to be, we would have to refine the idea. How could this be done without, it can't be a members only thread because membership means nothing now. Anyone can get a membership and just fucking throw in shit. So that's not going to work. But what, you know, how could it be possible? Let's think about it. Let's continue to discuss this idea. I like this idea. I'm sure now people will hear this idea and think, okay, maybe here's a spin on it that we could do, or something that we could do to make it work for Phil. Because again, I would love to do the show. That sounds like a great idea. No way I could do it on my own right now. And I can't hire people to do it for me like the big YouTubers that I know you have in mind do. Okay? I mean, just remember last year when Asmongold, okay, reacted to me. He literally says, why'd you guys submit this for me to watch? Everyone wants me to watch this clip, huh? And he watches it. He's like, I don't understand why you haven't watched it. Because everyone submitted it. People scrubbed it. Said a lot of people submitted this, you know, Asmon, will you watch this? And then he watched it. As opposed to, how would I do that myself? You know? Okay, so the thing is, I like that suggestion. That's a good one, but it's not one that I can do in its current form. We have to kind of refine that suggestion better. Okay? Okay. All right, that's enough for suggestion box for today. Thank you guys for your suggestions. Maybe we can implement some of those in the future. Maybe we can't. I don't know. We'll see. But those are good suggestions, and thank you for them. I really appreciate that. Let's now get to shout-outs. On the YouTube side of things, we got nothing. No super chats, no memberships, no gifted membership.